What's up guys? So today I'm going to be talking with you about the Sunday Primer. Is it a good bike? Before we get into the review, I'm going to be that guy and I'm going to say if you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that you get notified. I'm always working on new stuff. And then real quick, I did want to give a couple of shout outs. I really appreciate everyone on here that's been interacting with me on Instagram, in the comments, and I love it so much. So I have it here on my phone. Aiden, I think. Hold on, let's see. Aiden Hemmings. Thank you so much, man. Your support, I really appreciate it. Aiden's on like every video that I post. First one in the comments, hyping me up. And I work so hard on this whole thing to help everyone out understanding BMX. So when I get some kind of support like this, it makes me super happy. And thanks, man. Appreciate it. The second one is Charlie McDonald. He sent me an email. He said, "My son and I love your blog and all the stuff you put together." His son's new to BMX. So that makes me so happy because that's what I'm trying to do. One time I convinced my dad to get on a bike when I was just starting out, and we forgot to tighten the stem. And he's riding along, and the stem and the bars went sideways, and he flipped over. We have it on video. It's somewhere deep in like 2010 Facebook. If I find it, I'll throw it in this video. He's gonna hate me. But guys, if you're a parent watching this, support your kids, because this day and age is crazy. Like, kids are making so much money on social media because they were able to pursue a talent that 20 years ago they wouldn't have been able to do. So support your kids. I think it's so cool. Charlie, shouts out to you and your kid. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. That's all I can say. Enjoy the video. Alrighty, so the second bike on the list is going to be the 2021 Sunday Primer. Now the 2020 Primer was probably one of the first bike reviews I put on this YouTube channel. Everyone loved it. It's a really popular bike for new riders, and so here we go. This is what Sunday has to say about it. The Primer is a serious starter bike at a seriously great price, $369. Built around a pro-level geometry in a range of top tube sizes, the Primer is spec'd with quality parts like the Odyssey Springfield brakes and the Path Pro tires. The 2021 Primer also includes fully sealed rear cassette hub and proven parts like the Sunday Freeze stem and FSA headset. Okay, let me talk a little bit about what that means, but it basically means that this bike is good for beginners, decent price. And the coolest thing is that you can upgrade those parts. So you might see a lot of people rolling around with camo pink tires, okay? These are gonna fit this bike. Anything you decide to throw on this is it's totally customizable. And that's a cool thing about the sport, is that you can express yourself by how your bike looks, by how you ride. And it's one of my favorite things about the sport. So this bike is customizable. It has a handful of aftermarket parts, which is cool. Now there's two variations. There's the Sunday Primer and the Primer Park. I'll do the Park next, but it's basically the Primer quality with a really responsive frame that's good for learning spins, tail whips, and those kind of technical park tricks. Okay, but right now we're just talking about the Primer. Like I mentioned, it's $369 and it comes in 4 different colors, okay? It's gonna come in a surf blue, which is the 20-inch top tube. It's gonna come in pale pink, which is 20.5 inch, matte black, which is 20.75, and matte army green, which is 21. Now there's a couple of things I like and a couple of things I don't like with the way they did this. If you watched my best BMX brands video, I touched on this in the video, but I hate how the top tube size is associated with a color. And what I mean by that is if you want a 21-inch primer in surf blue, you're out of luck. The surf blue primer is only going to come in a 20-inch, while the matte army green is only going to come in a 21-inch. And this is kind of frustrating because you can't get exactly what you want. And I know for a fact that some kids are going to go with the color they want and not the size that's right for them. And this is a terrible idea because it's so important to ride the right size bike. If you're riding the wrong size, you're going to have a really hard time progressing. Okay? So take my word for it, guys. If you love the color and you need a different top tube size, shop around for a different bike, or get the correct size, get a couple cans of spray paint, and go crazy. That's what I would recommend. Now, a couple important specs. We're going to talk about the standover and the chainstay. The chainstay is a 13.2 to a 13.5, just like the last bike. This is a longer chainstay. It's going to be harder to spin, but it's going to feel really stable, really comfortable, which is perfect for those newer riders who are getting into the sport. It has an 8.75 inch standover, which again, medium-sized standover. It's not really going to affect you at this level. Now, a couple questions. Who is this bike for? So the primer is going to be for a rider who is just getting into the sport, just figuring out the basics, but they want a bike that's a little bit better quality than the blueprint. And that's what this bike is. It adds in some extra quality parts and just some better customizability. So it's just still going to be for a beginner rider. A mid-level rider is going to absolutely destroy it. So don't get this bike if you're a mid-level rider, okay? Now, is it a good bike? Yes and no. For me, it's not a good bike. It won't last very long. But if you're just into the sport, you're just learning manuals, 180s, bunny hops, it is a really good bike. Sunday builds really good quality parts, and this bike is nothing short. Last question, is it worth the price? For $370, I'm gonna say it is worth the price, but it's a little on the expensive side. I always reference Kink's line when I talk about a good price to quality ratio because their bikes really are some of the best. They're just paying for that awesome brand name, awesome customer service that they've got going on over at Sunday. Now with that being said, that's going to be the Sunday primer. I'm going to talk about the primer park next. Very similar, very different. Alright, so that's going to be the 2021 Sunday primer. If you guys like this kind of content, you like these bike reviews, make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when I post new content. And with that being said, I'm going to pop up two different videos here somewhere on this screen. The first one's going to be a playlist of all the complete bike reviews that I've done. The second one is going to be the in-depth Sunday line video that I did that talks about every single Sunday bike in the 2021 line. Thanks.